everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Rhiannon and today I'm going to be talking about all the books that I want to get to in August. Now there are a lot of readathons happening throughout August. We have the Final Book Support Group, Camp Spoopathon, the Aurelium Readathon, Summer Mixtapeathon, and of course Polarthon. I would love to participate in every single one of these, but I am actually going on holiday soon. I'm going to be away halfway through the first week into halfway through the second week of August, and so I am going to be missing out on a massive chunk of time from all of these readathons. If I do manage to participate in some of these, then that would be fantastic, but the main readathon that I am taking part in, as you can probably tell, is Polarthon. And I do just want to shout out this t-shirt because how cute is it? I absolutely love it. We have some little polar bears all over, and then I do also have my Polarthon bookmarks from Daisy and Bee. These come as a set, so you get one of each, and again I'm just obsessed, especially with the one with the polar bears because how could I not be? They're just adorable. So I am definitely going hard for this readathon. It is happening throughout the whole month of August, and I think the reason that I'm particularly excited about this round is because there are no prompts. Now I love the way that Jade has gone about this round. It's essentially all about raising awareness for polar bears because, as we all know, the situation in the world right now with climate change means that the polar bear habitats are disappearing and therefore the polar bears are also becoming more and more endangered. And so what Jade has come up with is a tracker. Now for every 100 pages you read, you catch a fish. And then what she personally has decided to do is that for every 100 pages that she reads, she of course catches the fish, but she also donates £1 to Polar Bears International. This is a non-profit polar bear conservation organisation, and their research, education and action programmes address the issues that are endangering polar bears and essentially raising awareness and trying to help tackle the decline of the polar bear as well. Now I just think that this is such an amazing idea. Jade has taken Polarthon, which we all know and love as it is, and just made it that little bit better and turned it into a charitable readathon. Now as I mentioned, she is going to be donating £1 for every 100 pages that she reads, and I'm definitely going to be taking a leaf out of her book where, depending on the amount of books that I read, I'm either going to donate £1 for every 100 pages that I also read, or I'm going to donate £1 for every completed book that I read. I haven't quite decided yet. It depends on how much I actually read throughout the month, but I am hoping that it will be quite a lot. So depending on my financial situation, we will see what I can donate personally. But I have contributed and donated some money to Polar Bears International already just by buying the Daisy and Bee Polarthon merch. So with the top and the bookmarks, 20% of all profit goes towards Polar Bears International. So if you guys would like to support Polarthon and Polar Bears International but don't necessarily want to be donating throughout the month, then buying the merch for this readathon is such a good way to go and do that, and it also gives you a nice little item as well to remember this readathon by. So as this is a readathon that doesn't have any specific prompts, I am going to be mentioning quite a few books that I would like to get to in August. This is definitely an ambitious stack for me, bearing in mind that I have been in the world's worst reading slump this year and I've barely read anything. But there are just so many books that I'm desperate to get to, so many books that I should have read a while ago, and ones that I've been putting off because of my slump as well. I do just want to say that I am going to be posting a separate video talking about the books that I'm going to be taking with me on holiday. They are not going to be any of the books mentioned in this video, but that video is going to be the next one that goes live on my channel. So definitely subscribe and click the bell notification icon so that you can check that video out once it goes live. Again, I have quite an ambitious stack to take with me on holiday, but they're all books that I'm really excited for, and I think that they are well-loved books as well. Right, that was definitely a very long intro, but I did want to give you guys all the specifics at the start. And of course, Jade's channel and announcement video will be linked in the description box below, as well as the link to Daisy and Bee, which is the bookmark shop, and the Redbubble shop, which houses these t-shirts. Now without further ado, let's just dive into the books. These books are not in any particular order, they're just ones that I'm really excited for and would like to get to this month. And first up we have The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. This is the gorgeous Fairy Loot edition. It's all purple instead of orange, and this is one that I've been desperate to read ever since I received it. Now this book is inspired by the stories from 1001 Nights, and it weaves the gripping tale of a legendary smuggler, a cowardly prince, and a quest across the desert to find an ancient magical lamp. This is definitely giving me Aladdin vibes. I don't think it's going to follow that type of story exactly, but anything that's remotely close to Aladdin Aladdin is going to be one that I hopefully will love. But there is magic in here. There is a sultan who wants this magic lamp. We also have ghoul attacks, and we face a malicious killer. So this just sounds so promising for me. I definitely think it's a 5-star prediction, and I have just been putting it off because of my reading slump. I didn't want to read this book when I wasn't in the mood for it, because that would definitely affect my enjoyment and possibly my rating. So I'm really happy that I've saved it until now, and that I'm finally in the headspace and the mood to pick this one up. Next up, we have These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, which again is the stunning Fairy Loot edition. This is another one that I've been meaning to pick up ever since I received it. However, because of this slump, I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I did post a poll up on Twitter recently asking you guys to choose my next read. And spoiler alert, you guys did vote for this one. So there will be a separate reading vlog coming your way soon where I do dedicate some time and read this book. But honestly, this is one that I really don't remember what it's about. All I know is that it involves the Sealy Court in some sort of way, and you guys know I love me some fairies. So the little snippet at the top says, go to the Sealy Court, find the Queen's secret portal to enter the most dangerous place in Fairy, find my sister and rescue her from a power-hungry king. Child's play. That's just so enticing. I feel like, again, this is one that I'm really going to enjoy. I love how untrustworthy fairies are, even though the majority of them can't actually lie. They manage to bend the truth and play people against each other, and I feel like that is just going to be such a good time. The second book to this is also coming out later on this year, so I would love to read this in preparation for that. I have ordered the matching Fairy Loot edition of the second book as well, so hopefully I love this one, and I definitely need to get a move on and read this book so I can get the reading vlog out to you guys. Another book I'd like to get to is Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. This is the second book in the These Violent Delights duology. I'm not quite sure of the correct name for that, but These Violent Delights is a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in 1920s Shanghai, and oh my goodness, I loved the first book so much. It's full of drama and angst and romance, whilst also having a really gripping plot as well. However, it does involve a kind of pandemic situation, and I did read the first book during one of the lockdowns that we had because of the COVID pandemic, so it definitely was a weird read, and there were some aspects of it that literally made my skin crawl, which I can't go into why because that would spoil it, but oh, it was really horrible. Extremely well done because it made me feel all these different emotions, but yeah, some aspects of it definitely a bit creepy. As I mentioned, this is the second book in that duology. It is just a duology as well, so I don't have to read any books after this one, and so I genuinely don't know why I've been putting this off. Maybe because of the size of it. It's quite a chunky book, but I have recently found the audiobook on Scribd, so I think I'm gonna try listening to the audiobook, possibly read this along physically with it. But listening to audiobooks has been my savior this year in terms of my reading. I've consumed so many stories just through listening to them alone, and so I definitely think that this is a contender for an audiobook, and hopefully I love it just as much as I loved the first one. Next up, we have a book that has featured in quite a few of my TBR videos, and that is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J Maas. I have been putting off reading this book for the longest time. I am terrified to dive into this. If you don't know, this is the last book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas. I started rereading this series, I want to say halfway through last year, and just fell back in love with the world and the characters, and then my reading slump hit, and it took me 2 months to read the one before this, which was Tower of Dawn, and I think ever since then I've just been dreading diving into this, mainly because of the length, my reading slump, and because I feel like this book is going to break my heart. So I've definitely been avoiding this one, but it's time. I desperately want to read this and finally find out what happens to all of our characters. I have avoided spoilers ever since this book came out, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to know what has happened. I want to know every gruesome detail that is probably going to be facing our characters. And I just really do want to finish out the series properly, because I've reread the series twice now and never finished the last book. And so this month I am putting it out into the world. I'm going to finish the Throne of Glass series, and I am absolutely terrified. I'm sure most of you know what the Throne of Glass series is about, but in case you don't, in the first book we follow an assassin called Selena Sardothian, and she has been sent to the slave camps of Endovia. One day though, the king's son Dorian travels to Endovia to offer Selena a deal. She can fight in the king's tournament as his champion, and if she wins she will have to serve the king for a few years, but then she will ultimately win her freedom, which of course is all she's ever wanted, and so she decides to accept this deal. However, when she gets to the castle, she soon realizes that it's not just the other contenders that she needs to look out for. There is a darker magic at work in the castle, and it threatens not only her, but her friends and the royal family as well. This series is such a wild ride. It's filled with politics, court intrigue. Obviously Selena is an assassin, so we follow a lot of her work, I want to say, throughout these books as well. There is drama between all the characters. We have shapeshifters, magic, as I mentioned, witches. Oh, it's just got absolutely everything that you could possibly want in a fantasy series. And even though the writing isn't necessarily the best, this was Sarah J Maas's first series, the nostalgia behind it and the world building and the characters just sucks you in, and it truly is the best time. So if you haven't picked up this series yet, I would highly recommend that you do so. And to those of you that have already read this book and finished out the series, please do send a prayer for me, because I am terrified and I don't think I'm ready for it. And then you guys are gonna think that I'm absolutely crazy for this. But the last two books that I would like to get to in July are The Lord of the Rings and The Silmarillion, both by J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, I'm counting this as one book in my TBR, but the Lord of the Rings book, as we know, is split up into 3 parts normally. We have The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King, and then we have The Silmarillion. So essentially I do have 4 books worth here, and again, I'm being very, very ambitious with this. The reason I've decided to put these on my TBR for this month is because we are getting the new Lord of the Rings TV show on Amazon Prime. I've been waiting so long to finally watch the TV show, and of course now I've decided to cram these books into August, which is the month before it comes out. So it's out on the 2nd of September, I want to say, and I'm a last minute idiot, so I've decided that I want to revisit The Lord of the Rings and read and finish The Silmarillion, because I don't know if you can tell, I do have a bookmark in The Silmarillion. I did start it, I do have some tabs there as well. I got up to page 52, so not a lot, but it definitely felt like I'd read so much more. You guys know with The Silmarillion, it is intense. It is dense and heavy and confusing, but I really do want to complete this one, especially because a lot of the Lord of the Rings series focuses on the appendices from The Return of the King and the information from The Silmarillion as well. Luckily for me though, Lucy from Crescent Pages is hosting a little readathon for these books, which I will of course be joining in August. So she isn't reading the Lord of the Rings books, she is only focusing on the appendices in The Return of the King, as I just mentioned, because that is where the core detail from the new Amazon series is going to be focused, and then we are also going to be tackling the Silmarillion. So I am really glad that I'm going to kind of have a support network whilst reading these books, but I'm also terrified because I know how long and dense these books are. But you guys know how much love I have for The Lord of the Rings. I have recently reread The Hobbit and just loved it, so I am really excited to dive back into these, but the Silmarillion is one that terrifies me, and I'm going to need all the luck in the world to get through it in time to watch the new series. So there we have it. These are all of the books that I would like to get to in August, not including the books that I'm taking with me on holiday. So I have a lot of books to get through. Don't know if I will manage it, but these are books that I really do want to read and I'm really excited for, so I wanted to include them in this video anyway, and hopefully it kind of forces me to prioritize these instead of watching YouTube, which is what I've been doing a lot these past months. Oh no, you guys, I did also forget that I am currently rereading the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare as well. I don't have the books to hand because they're on the top shelf of my bookshelf, but that is a 6-book series as well, which I completely forgot about until right this second. So that is also a series that is on my TBR for this month, and now I am definitely scared, but there will be a separate reading vlog for that as well, so I'm not going to go into that here. But yeah, that is another set of books that I do want to get to, especially before going back to work on the 1st of September. So we have a lot of books to get through, and I am being very, very ambitious at the minute, considering I've been in the worst reading slump of my life and I've only read 20 books so far this year. But that is it for this video, you guys. Please do let me know down in the comments what you thought of this TBR, and if you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts as well. I love hearing your guys' opinions on different books, and it does also help me prioritize which ones I'm going to get to first. As well as that, if you have made it to the end of the video and would like to let me know that you're still here, please go ahead and leave me a polar bear emoji down below. You guys can tell how excited I am for this round of Polarthon, and it's just been so nice seeing everyone's reactions to the announcement video video and the merch drops as well. So please do check the links below if you are interested in picking up some of the merch items. The bookmarks are a limited release, so I don't think that they're being restocked once they sell out. So definitely be quick with these ones. And then there are different designs in the top. There is this one, and there is also one with a singular polar bear on it as well, which is super cute, and I have actually bought the sticker of, which I've just found actually, and it looks like this. So I'm definitely going to be making a spread in my bullet journal for this. Maybe I'll film it, who knows, but I'm so happy to have all of this Polarthon merch. I love Steph and Jade, who are the owners of Daisy and Bee, and of course this is all for an amazing cause as well. So I'm super happy to own this merch and to be taking part in the readathon. Please don't forget to click the like button if you like this video and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. It truly does mean the world to me, and I will see you soon in my next video. Goodbye!